Hey guys, it's Kat. I know I look like shit right now, I'm sorry, but, today I kind of wanted to talk about something that was kind of a bit more, not serious, but just more, I just want to be, like, upfront with you guys about this, and it's a question that I've been getting asked a lot lately, ever since a certain video went up on another channel. And this, I'm gonna try to censor myself as much as I can, because I know the person who put up the other video is going to be watching this one and I might get a little bit offended. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to clear this up for everybody who's been asking. So, yeah. So the question that I've been getting asked a lot recently is why I left Psycho Jack Films and what has happened with that. And honestly, I don't really know the rest of the story other than my own side. So a while ago, around maybe like in December, January-ish time, it was back like in the winter, I started doing Psycho Jack Films, and I met the guy who runs it. His name's Barney, and he met me on Facebook, actually. I know this is already, you can probably already tell where this is going, but he met me on Facebook, and we started talking, and he seemed really, really nice. So I decided to go over to his house and meet him in person, and he was alright, just like as an individual, and he was a lot of fun to be around. Like, we hung out all day, it was a lot of fun. Then he asked me to actually join his film group, Psycho Jack Films, and I agreed to do it. So then after that, I was officially a member of Psycho Jack Films, and the first film that I remember doing was C3, and even though I didn't have a big role in that, I still did it. That was when I got to see a side of him that I wasn't so good about, I guess. Anyway, so we started shooting C3, and I understand that he's a serious filmmaker and this stuff means a lot to him, but at the same time, that was when I met Ben. And Ben, as you guys probably know, was my boyfriend, but we broke up only after 2 short months due to my personal psychological problems. But, so anyway, so me and Ben got really close and we started dating, and then I started doing a whole bunch of other stuff with Psycho Jack Films. And as we went along, I noticed that because Ryan got a girlfriend, sorry, Barney, my bad. He got a girlfriend about halfway through my little career thing with them. And, she started just kind of like randomly showing up to our filming sessions. Like, I know she was in Ash Wilkes, but she showed up to a whole bunch of stuff for C3 even though she wasn't in that. And I feel like it was just kind of an excuse for them to, like, you know, be together and like make out and stuff like that. I mean, he saw her all the time. And so then he started really being an asshole to the rest of us. Like, he was being really bossy, wouldn't let us give any of our ideas, and was just being a total Ma, I'm filming, sorry. So, I'm filming something, sorry. Sorry, that's my mother. But, so he wasn't really letting us give any of our ideas or anything like that, and he was being a big mouth prick about everything. Just wasn't being very nice. So, soon after I did C3, I went to a bonfire with, Ben. And I met a couple of his friends, like his friend Tyler and his friend Zach and a whole bunch of other people. And they were really nice people. And then I was like, they were like, so how did you meet him? And I was like, oh, well, our friend Barney. And as soon as I said Barney's name, they were just like, no, stop talking, we hate him. And I'm just like, why? And they didn't really want to say why. They were just like, just don't worry about it, we just don't like him. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because it didn't matter to me what they thought at that point, because I was kind of getting the sense that Barney was really kind of annoying and selfish. And it wasn't really like, it hadn't become a problem yet, but I was starting to get that sense like, you're kind of annoying, I want to try to avoid you as much as I can kind of issue. And so then after that, trying to remember. Nothing else really happened. Like, I kept in contact with them and we were like hanging out and stuff, like doing stuff. And then the day came around when we shot Ash Wilkes. And because we did a whole bunch of like little short films and stuff, like to promote the film and stuff like that. And that was a lot of fun. And like, of course, he was still being kind of weird, but it didn't really like bother me. And then it came around like in March-ish when we shot Ash Wilkes. And that was the turning point in my decision to leave. Because, so there were a couple scenes in Ash Wilkes that were cut out. And I know anybody who's seen that film, it's actually, I watched it, because I'm in it, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my, like, I'm sorry, like, Barney, if you're watching this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought Ash Wilkes was fucking terrible. I'm sorry, and I know that, like, you're just, like, trying your best to be a filmmaker and stuff like that, but to be honest, you cut out one of the most important parts of the film, and that's really what I didn't like. I don't care if, because you cut out the main part of the film that explains the rest of it, and I know that the person who was saying their lines like that, who I won't name, was barely audible, but you could have put, like, an intro where it explains everything, or something like that, but I don't know. So I honestly just think I don't know. So anyway, so while we're in the midst of shooting this film, because we shot it all in one long day, in one long period, one of the longest shoots ever for Psychojack films, it was like 8 hours, and so we're in the midst of shooting this really long sequence, and I was looking over the script, and it actually looked really cheesy. And I turned to him and I was like, is this like a comedy horror movie? Is this a parody? And he said, oh no, this is supposed to be like a really, really scary movie. And I'm like, well, don't you think you could make a few changes? Because honestly, this is really like cheesy looking. Don't you think that you might want to change it a little bit? Because the script was like really kind of annoying and repetitive at some points. Like of course they got like the normal character, like the main character who falls in love with the killer, and then the one guy who is kind of like, hey, we shouldn't do this, and then they got the couple who dies while having sex. That was mean, but my bad. But anyway, so they got all those characters in the movie, and I was like, okay, that seems reasonable. And then I started reading over the script, and it was like, it's Ash Wilkes, run, he's coming, he's gonna kill me, kind of bullshit like that. And I was like, this actually looks, like, I like most of it, like, most of it is well written, but some parts of it are really cheesy. Don't you think you want to change that to make the film better? And he's just like, well, this is my channel. You don't get to change anything because this was my idea in the first place. This is my channel. You don't get to do anything. You're just an actor. You're just here to help with the channel. You're not here to make all the big decisions. And I'm like, hold up. So soon after, that was when I really, really started to hate him, and I was ranting to Ben on the phone. I was like, he never lets us do anything, he never lets us have any input, he's being very selfish at this point, and I'm just like, So then Ben told me, he was like, well, in like a year or so, he's gonna, like, help me be, like, a co-writer for him, and I'm like, a co-writer for what? He said, well, it's gonna be another horror film type thing, so maybe we could, I could help with that. And I'm like, a co-writer is not the same as the person who's actually writing it, because heaven knows that once you finish co-writing with him, he's gonna make all these changes and the script is gonna turn out really, really bad. And he's like, yeah, I think you might be right, we might need to do something about that. So, I never really confronted Ryan on that, but, anyway. So at the same time, after Ash Wilkes, it had, like, they started doing all these things to promote other stuff, and they stopped inviting me over to do things. They had, the show Idiots for Life, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but the character of Avery, that was my role, actually, but then Barney was being an asshole and was like, I don't have any roles for you yet. We just don't need you right now. And he gave my role to that other girl. And I was pissed. And so I was like, what's with you? And he's like, I'm sorry. We just don't have anything for you yet. Just wait. And so I was like, okay. So soon after, I went through something. that wasn't good, and I started, like, my psychological issues started acting up again, and I couldn't really do anything, let alone deal with my relationship. So I talked to Ben, and I was like, look, I need time. You and I need to, like, you know, break up, go our separate ways, and once I get better, I'll see if I'm ready for another relationship. I just don't think I can do this right now. And he's like, oh, okay, like, I get it, you know, like, I get it. And I'm like, okay, and we were okay. But then, dumbass Barney decided to get all up in our business, and he was like, you're not allowed to come film with me anymore because, you two, went your separate ways, and you two aren't allowed to film together anymore. I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a while before I invite you back. Because his motherfucking dumbass self thought that just because me and Ben stopped talking, that we couldn't handle being in the same room together, and he's like, I don't want you two in the same room together. Stuff could happen. So, of course, I got pissed, and I'm like, well, shit. How long is it gonna be until I get back? And he said, well, maybe next year we could do something. And I'm just like, fuck no. I have literally nothing to do on the weekends anymore. And it's gotten quite boring, and Psychojack Films, like, they replaced me in literally everything. He took away all my roles. He deleted one of the videos that I was in, cropped out almost all my behind-the-scenes things from Ash Wilkes, and I got really pissed, and I told him, oh yeah, one little detail I forgot. Soon after, he told me that it's gonna have to be like a year until I came back. I wasn't really that angry. I was like, okay, I can wait that long. Like, of course I was pissed, but I didn't let that affect me. Until Ben blocked me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Who told you that? And so he told me that Barney told him to block me because he didn't want me anywhere around him. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, that's it. I'm done. So I confronted Barney, and I was like, hey, tell Ben to fucking unblock me. And so he was like, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't want you two filming together anymore. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm done. And I quit. So then after that, they started filming a whole bunch of other stuff without me. None of them contacted me. And they were just being, like, really, like, kind of like, anyway, like, we're better than you kind of people to me. And it didn't bother me. Like, I just kind of, like, went my own separate way. I started my own thing. And then, a couple days ago, I was just browsing YouTube. And I looked at their channel to see how well it was doing. And that video came up with, Barney talking about how he's going to be taking a break for a while. And this is something that I didn't know. Ben, Gage, Devin, Tristan, and myself all quit Psychojack Films after Idiots for Life came out. Only I left before, but myself, I left after Ash Wilkes, and 4 other people left after Idiots for Life came out. And I was like, well, shit. Like, I was just like, oh, hold on, how did this happen? And I asked them, and they came to me. And I asked them, like, hey, what happened? And they're like, Ryan is an asshole. We all hate him. He's been terrible to us. We quit. I mean, I wasn't happy, but I was happy that they finally came to their senses and saw that he could be kind of a terrible person sometimes. And I was just like, okay, that's fine by me. You know what? Whatever. So, yeah. So yeah, that was a video. I just wanted to clear that up because I know a lot of people were saying, like, I left because of some things with some of the other people that worked there. And that's actually wasn't it. That was the full story of what happened. And I just wanted to clear that up and tell everybody what really happened because there are a lot of bullshit rumors going around, but I just wanted to, like, tell you guys, like, what really happened and stuff like that. So, I hope you liked the video, and if you did, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You guys can add me on Snapchat and Instagram and all that fun stuff. I'll post my usernames and stuff to all that in the description there, and you guys have a good day or night or whatever, so.